nerd. I was definitely like a type A personality. Like whatever the teacher said I would do. I was like honor roll, gifted and talented. Like any AP classes, I would be in AP classes. But at the same time, I'd be like selling weed, like in high school, like middle school, like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
I was like, that's cool. Like I can do all these classes, but I just really like weed.
So you got into that early.
Yeah, early. But I
All
also
right.
lived in like on the border of a bad neighborhood where it was like we were the rich side, but all the poor kids would come over. So like there'd be hella fights, like there'd be gang initiations and shit in my middle school. And like you'd have to worry about drive-bys. And like I went to a friend's party when I was like 13 and a cop killed somebody in front of us.
Oh wow. Hey, walk us through that.
Damn.
So we were at like a Ukrainian Orthodox church, and we're just having a party there because she was from Ukraine. And it's like, cake, a trampoline, like, nothing crazy. And we go outside on the trampoline, and you just hear pop, 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 pop. And it was a standoff, and then everyone's parents had to come pick them up. But it was like a standoff between a cop and a civilian, but it was gang related. But they both shot each other, so it was homicide, suicide by cop, they called it. And I was like, how are you gonna call it suicide by cop? Suicide is yourself.
Yeah, they used to
I mean, some people
before.
do it
Yeah.
like there's dudes that if they don't want to go back to prison,
They give
they'll
them no option.
intentionally
Yeah.
do something to a cop knowing that the cop is gonna have to kill them.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
give them no option.
Right.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's in a poor choice of words, but yeah.
It was just crazy that I was like at that age, and I'm just like, we hit the ground. We all knew, we'd been through that kind of thing before. So just hit the ground, duck and cover. But I'm like, how are they going to later call it suicide by cop? Because, at 13, I'm like, suicide is yourself. Like, that don't make sense. And I just always question things because I was very smart. And I was like, that just don't make sense to me. And I wasn't really a big fan of the police, but I have police in my family. So,
So
uh,
you seen that at 13 years old?
yeah.
That must have been traumatic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely that's wild.
you just knock it off the cuff, and shit like that happens. You're like, all
Oh, for
right, what am
sure. You think it's normal at the time.
Yeah.